Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ayang Vaisarva Yagyakya. Ayam Vaisarva Yagyakya. Sarvavratam iti smritam. Sarvavratam iti smritam. Tapasaram idam badre. Tapasaram idam badre. Dhanam cheshvara tarpanam. Danang cheshvara tarpanam. Ayang Vaisava Yaknakya. Sarvavratam iti smritam. Tapasaram idam bhadre. Danang cheshvara tarpanam. Ayang Vaisarva Yagyakya. Sarvavratam iti smritam. Tapasaram idam bhadre. Danang cheshvara tarpanam. Ayam Vaisarva Yagyakya. Ayam Vaisarva Yagyakya. Okay. Pranam. Ladies? I am this. Vai, indeed. Sarvayagya, all kinds of religious rituals and sacrifices. Akyaha, called. Sarvavratam, all religious ceremonies. Iti, thus. Smritam, understood. Tapahasaram, the essence of all austerities. Idam, this, Bhadre, O good lady, Danam, acts of charity, Cha, and Ishvara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Tarpanam, the process of pleasing. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. This Payo Brat is also known as Sarva Yagya. In other words, by performing this sacrifice, one can perform all other sacrifices automatically. This is also acknowledged to be the best of all ritualistic ceremonies. O gentle lady, it is the essence of all austerities, and it is the process of giving charity and pleasing the Supreme Controller. Aradhananam sarveshvam Vishnu aradhanam param. This is a statement made by Lord Shiva to Parvati. Worshipping Lord Vishnu is the supreme process of worship. And how Lord Vishnu is worshipped in this Payo Brat ceremony has now been fully described. The ultimate goal of life is to please Lord Vishnu by Varnashram Dharma. The Vedic principles of 4 Varnas and 4 ashrams are meant for worship of Vishnu. Vishnur aradhyate pungsang nanyat tat toshkarmanam karanam. The Krishna consciousness movement is also Vishnu Aradhanam, or worship of Lord Vishnu, according to the age. The Payo Brat method of Vishnu Aradhanam was enunciated long ago by Kashyap Muni to his wife. Aditi in the heavenly planets, and the same process is bona fide on earth even now. Especially in this age of Kali, the process accepted by the Krishna consciousness movement is to open hundreds and thousands of Vishnu temples. Temples of Radha and Krishna, Jagannath, Balaram, Sitaram, Gaur-Nitai, and so on. Performing prescribed worship in such temples of Vishnu, and thus worshiping the Lord, is as good as performing the Payo Brat ceremony recommended here. The Payo Brat ceremony is performed from the 1st to the 13th day of the bright fortnight of the moon. But in our Krishna consciousness movement, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in every temple according to a schedule of 24 hours of engagement in performing kirtan, chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, offering palatable food to Lord Vishnu, and distributing this food to Vaishnavas and others. There are authorized activities. These are authorized activities. And if the members of the Krishna consciousness movement stick to these principles, they will achieve the same result one gains by observing the Payo Brat ceremony. Thus, the essence of all auspicious activities, such as performing yajna, giving in charity, observing brats, and undergoing austerities, is concluded in the Krishna consciousness movement. The members of this movement should immediately and sincerely follow the process already recommended. Of course, sacrifice is meant to please Lord Vishnu. Yagnai sankirtana prayir yajantihi sumedasa. In Kali Yuga, those who are intelligent perform the Sankirtan Yajna. One should follow this process conscientiously. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. So, This chapter has been describing the process of the Payobrat worship. So, Srila Prabhupada is explaining here that the Varnashram system, the orders of life, the order of the ashrams, and the occupational duties, these are to be performed for the pleasure of the Lord. By performing these duties, one can bring pleasure to the Lord. So what are these occupational duties? We understand that there's Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, right? So the Brahmins have a certain duty, the Kshatriyas have a different duty, the Vaishyas have a different duty, and so do the Shudras have a different duty. And the duty of the Brahmins is that they perform yagyas, they perform, they teach how to do yagyas, how to study Shastra. This is their duty, to teach. Right? They're teachers. We see the example of the history how people would send their children to the Brahmins, and then the Brahmins would teach them, right? Even the Pandavas, they learned the military art from a Brahmin. What was his name? Dronacharya, right? So he was Brahmin, but yet he was teaching them all the martial arts, right? How to shoot various weapons, and how to fight, and how to make a military formation to defeat the enemy's military formation, right? All of these things were taught by the Brahmin, Dronacharya. Then we have and previously, when the Brahmins taught, the parents of the children would send with the Brahmins some production from the fields, right? Some rice, some dal, sabji, right? So the Brahmin would collect all these things. And he would make a big go down and store it and sell it. No. Not like that. Whatever he collected for the day, he would cook it all up, offer it to Lord Vishnu, right? All Brahmins kept shaligram, shila, right? And then he would take some portion for him and his family and distribute the rest, right? So at the end of the day, although so much had come, still the balance was 0, right? This is the business of the Brahmins, fully dependent on the mercy of the Lord, right? But they have their occupational duty. They have their purpose, very important purpose that they're fulfilling. And because of this, they were detached, very detached, the Brahmins, right? Situated in the mode of goodness, living very simply, right? But they had so much power, right? It was called Brahminical Tejas, right? And that was coming from the Lord. He was empowering them to do things. By the power of the Brahmins, persons would get well, because they had knowledge of the different herbs, right, that were available, right? again coming from the Lord. It's like it grows on the trees. What? Haritaki, right? Haritaki. In the village, you can get haritaki, right? And that's a medicine for so many different diseases. So the Brahmins knew the science of how to use the herbs. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I am the healing herb. Right? So Krishna would empower the Brahmins who knew all this science, that the science would be effective. Their treatment would be effective. Their ilaj. Right? Ilaj? Treatment? So there you go, Radha Krishna, there's some Hindi. Ilaj. But they were very, very simple and detached. This gave them that Brahminical tejas. That was their position, to be detached, to live simply. Right? But they had a very important service. They were helping others. The Brahmins were helping other people. Right? Teaching. You have to give yourself to teach someone. You have to give your time, you have to give your efforts. You have to really want to help them, to bring them up. Right? So they were giving to others. This mentality of helping others is what pleases the Lord. Because the Lord sees that everyone is His part and parcel. Mamai vamsa jiva loke. He's seeing them all as my parts and parcels. So those living entities that have this mood of helping the parts and parcels of the Lord has mercy on them. It pleases the Lord. He gets pleased. Just like if you go to anyone's house and they have some children and you give the children maybe just a 50 paisa lozenger, then the parents become happy. Is it not? Because it's their children. And you please their children, therefore they automatically become pleased. It's practical. So when we say this varnashram system pleases the Lord, it's a very practical thing. Right? It's a matter of giving, helping other people. Even the non-devotees realize, in business management, there's been a lot of, business management gurus, right? The 7 habits and the 8 habits and so many habits, right? But some of the more recent, quote-unquote, business gurus, they realize that although you may be very good at time management or managing, that still there's something missing. Something's lacking. And they come to understand that unless within your life you have some mood of helping other people, some way to express that inherent characteristic in it, that we're doing something meaningful to help other people, neither you will be successful at your business or neither you will be successful in your life in terms of the happiness quotient. Isn't it? They're finding, they're saying you have to do something. But this was a system all along. They're reinventing, they're finding out what was there all along in the Varnashram system. It was established. The Brahmins would help by teaching, by sharing their knowledge through medicine and military art, so many different things. Similarly, the Kshatriyas, what was their business? They would protect the kingdom, right? They would make sure that the rogues and the thieves did not flourish, right? And they were very strict, right? So that good people could actually live their life peacefully. And again, some production of the fields would be given to the Kshatriyas. And they would have some storage. They would keep a treasury. They'd have. But not so much just hoarding for themselves, but for times of emergency. When there wasn't when there wasn't enough food to go around, the Kshatriyas would open up their storehouses and distribute food to the people. Right? So the Kshatriyas were also in the mood of everything belonged to Krishna, everything belonged to God. And they were simply overseers, the Lord's handlers. When Lord Ramchandra was to be placed on the throne in Ayodhya, he took his ceremonial bath and went for the coronation ceremony, and all the Brahmins were there waiting to perform the fire sacrifice involved in that ceremony. And Lord Ramchandra said to the Brahmins, "My dear Brahmins, you please take this kingdom. Take this land, take all this land, because you're the representative of the Supreme Lord, therefore you should take it." And what did the Brahmins say? The Brahmin said, "My dear Lord Ramchandra, we wouldn't effectively manage this land. The Lord has designated you to manage this. So you please manage this on our behalf, right? You take care." So you see the reciprocal relationship between the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas. They're both thinking of the Lord, right? That everything belongs to the Lord. And then we have the Vaishyas. The Vaishyas are working the land. Mostly they're doing farming, right? Farming. Just like in the social body, we have head, we have arms, we have stomach, right? So the Vaishyas are the stomach, right? They provide the grains, and they take care of the cows. Right? They're also giving protection to the cows, which pleases Krishna, right? Krishna is very fond of the cows, and whoever tries to give protection to the cows and takes care of cows, that pleases him. Again, it's a matter of giving. Right? There was one politician who said, "Don't take care of cows, it's too much trouble. Just keep goats." What nonsense. Have you ever drank goat's milk? Terrible. So if we understand everything from Shastra, then society can be very progressive. It's not that everyone will chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, right? Therefore, Srila Prabhupada said, we need to organize society in terms of Varnashram Dharma so that at least people can be peaceful. Peaceful. Today, everyone is putting so much emphasis on material education, right? But what is the basis of that material education? What are they producing? Right? Engineers. But what will they engineer? Their own life is a total failure. Drinking, smoking, right? Performing all kinds of sinful activities. Right? This is not life. Working till 2 o'clock in the morning. Anyone should work till 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Someone told me their son got a job as a chartered accountant in a very big chartered accountant's office, right? Number 2 in the world accountant's office, accounting firm. But they have to work till 2 o'clock, come back at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? So they destroy the very fabric of a person's humanity, right? And all for one thing. Sabse badi rupya. Money. Right? And ultimately what? We can eat 2 pieces of toast and 1 chai. Hopefully it's herbal chai. Right? So varnashram, it's an important thing. And Shudras, they have their occupation. They serve the other classes, right? They get their necessities. If you give a Shudra a lot of money, what are they going to do? They're going to misuse it on sense gratification. But they should have what they need, right? They should be able to survive very nicely. So this is the reason behind the varnashram system, is to give order to society so that there's not chaos like there is now in this world. Chaos, total chaos. Last night I woke up at about 2 o'clock and I heard some noise outside. And some group of people were partying at 2 o'clock in the morning, shouting, screaming. But obviously they were intoxicated, shouting and screaming, right? So-called enjoying life. They'll all wake up in the morning with a hangover. And they'll think, what did I do last night? How did I get here? Right? This is not human life. This is not human life. But society is going in that direction because they're not properly organized. There's not a proper structure. So one of the purposes of the Krishna consciousness movement is to organize society in such a way that people can be peaceful. Srila Prabhupada mentions that this Payo Brata ceremony, as it was performed many thousands and thousands of years ago, it's still effective today, right? He mentions that. But at the same time, he also mentions about what's, especially for this age of Kali, right? And this Krishna consciousness movement is opening up centers all over the world where people can come and the worship of Jagannath, Gaur-Nitai, Radha and Krishna, Sitaram is there, and people can engage in worshiping the deity and at the same time chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and taking Krishna Prasadam, right? So this process, right, will bring the same result as the Payo Brata process. Same result will be there. And what is that result? Is that the Supreme Lord will be pleased. If the Supreme Lord is pleased, then one's life becomes successful. Everyone should be given prasadam. Srila Prabhupada wanted that in all of our centers. he gave an instruction. Tattvavid Prabhu may remember this. That right at the end of his life, before he left this world, Srila Prabhupada sent out a letter to all of the temples. And he said that in all of our centers, we should have one sabji, puri, and halavas. For anyone that comes to the temple, we should feed them sabji, halava, and puris. And keep prasadam cooked for 20 people, he said. And if that finishes, cook for another 20 people. And if there's anything left at the end of the day, then our men can eat it. You like that, huh? So anyone who comes to the temple should get sabji, halava, and puris. So this was Srila Prabhupada's mood. He wanted people to be benefited. Indiscriminately, whoever comes. Not that only life member we feed, other person we don't. We feed everybody. Everybody should get prasadam, whoever comes to the temple. This was Prabhupada's mood. And in this way, people hear the chanting, they'll take Krishna prasadam, and their lives will be benefited. And they'll come closer to the ultimate goal of life, which is to become fully Krishna conscious, free from any material desires. Devotional service is for everyone. You may have so many material desires. You may desire liberation also. It explains in the Bhagavatam. But one should still perform devotional service, right? Everything depends upon the pleasure of Krishna. Everything depends upon the Supreme Lord for whatever it is that we intend to do. So we should do those things which please the Lord, and then we'll see the fulfillment of whatever our desire is. Srila Prabhupada ends the purport saying that the members of this movement should immediately and sincerely follow the process already recommended, right? Which is what we're doing. Coming in the morning to Mangal Artik, chanting kirtan, chanting japa, staying awake in the Bhagavatam class, right? It's already recommended, so we should follow that, right? And then we'll please Lord Vishnu. Sacrifice is meant to please Lord Vishnu. It's meant to please the Lord. That's what sacrifice is for. Not that we sacrifice something so that we'll get some better position. Like in order to go to college, there's a big sacrifice. The parents sacrifice their money, right? The children sacrifice their time and efforts and their focus and concentration. It's a yajna. It's a sacrifice. But what's the expectation for that sacrifice? They're not doing it to please Vishnu. That's not the intention. The intention is that I'll be able to earn more money. And by that money, I'll be able to enjoy sense gratification. Right? So that's the same mentality of hogs and dogs. They have the same mentality. Right? The hogs in Vrindavan, they also working there all day long, they're scrounging around to find something to eat. Right? And then having sex indiscriminately. Right? So modern society is becoming like a society of, educated hogs and dogs, if there's such a thing. So in order to avoid such a life, in order to help people to perform sacrifice for the right purpose, yes, we must perform sacrifice. We must do some tapasya. We must do some austerity, but for the right purpose. And what is that purpose? For the pleasure of the Lord. And what will be the result? Society will become peaceful and will become successful in this human form of life by being able to return home back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions? Yes?
Hare Krishna. Sometimes I wonder that we are discussing about the very ancient events and pastimes and all the occasions and ceremonies, which has very little impact on the current day difficult situations. Like nowadays, people take selfie, and while taking the selfie, they die.
What's that?
Selfie.
Selfie.
And many people have died taking selfie.
They're taking selfie, yes.
Some rumor comes and dozens of people die, like in Bombay it happened. Just one rumor and many people died. And so many dirty movies are being circulated from the age of 10 years to 80 years. People are watching those dirty movies. We don't have any impact or access or control or help for such people. We are just I feel that we are like a gated community. We are very happy inside our community, and outside world is like raging fire. And we are helplessly watching them. And to bring them into our process is a very time-consuming, difficult and long process. Unless they submit to our proposals of every lifestyle point, they cannot be helped, they cannot be saved. So we are just like a limited group who are enjoying no doubt, but we are helpless for outsiders.
Yes.
Please give your comments.
Well, you're right. It's a very daunting task to try to save this world. But no less, that's our job. That's our duty. Even though it's like, we're making a small dent in the humongous situation of the material world, still we can have an effect. That's why Srila Prabhupada encouraged us so much to distribute the books. Things could be a lot worse. Things could be a lot worse. Pakistan's only 800 miles away, and they have bombs that could level Bombay in a few seconds. All the way from Kolaba to Mir Road. A couple of atomic bombs could level the whole place. So things could be worse. But because the devotees of the Lord are chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, and that pleases the Lord, the situation is not as bad as it could be. But yes, the devotee has some compassion. Although Maya is very powerful and the illusion is so strong and people are actually suffering, we also have a very powerful remedy, a very powerful medicine for them. And that's this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So people can be benefited. So wherever we go, whoever we meet, Lord Chaitanya is saying, tell them about Krishna. They'll be benefited. If they get a little Krishna Prasadam, or they hear the holy name, or they get a book on Krishna consciousness, their whole direction is changed. They're not going down, they're going up now. Slowly or quickly is up to them, but they're going in a different direction. So I agree, it's a very serious situation in terms of the material world. And the onus is on us, the responsibility is on us to help them. Tattvavit, Prabhu?
My question was basically the same, and you've already addressed it.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. As you told that hearing Krishna Katha and taking Krishna Prasadam gives same result as following the process of Payovrata. So, as per my hearing on this topic, of Payovrata, the intention was getting the material benefit. But Krishna Katha and Krishna Prasadam is meant for something what getting
The question is that the Payobrat ceremony that you perform was for some material intention, right? Meaning that Mother Aditi wanted to have the demigods come back to the heavenly planet. She was missing her children, right? But that taking prasada, chanting the holy name, etc., is for some higher purpose. So, how is that? How is it the same? Well, the purpose of the Payobrat was to please Vishnu. And Vishnu, being pleased, would help. He would come and help the demigods. So, certainly must admit that chanting the holy name, taking the Lord's, honoring the Lord's prasadam, these are also pleasing to Vishnu, right? And if someone has some material desire, the Lord, being pleased, may fulfill that. He may also fulfill that. But at the same time, there's a higher understanding of these activities. These activities are to attract the attention of the Lord. For what? So that the Lord will help us to establish our lost relationship with Him. What everyone actually is looking for is to, have that proper relationship with the Lord. A relationship of one of love. Not some business relationship, you take this worship, you give me this, right? When Prahlad Maharaj came before Lord Nrsingadev, Lord Nrsingadev said, you take some, I'm happy with you. He was very angry. The demigods thought the whole world would be burnt up by Lord Nrsingadev's anger. They even put his wife, Lakshmi Devi, you satisfy him. But she said, I don't know, maybe this is not my husband. I never saw him so angry before. So she also came back. So then they thought what to do. So they pushed Prahlad in front. Little boy, 5 years old. And the Lord became pacified by seeing Prahlad. So he told Prahlad, you take some benediction. And Prahlad said, my dear Lord, I'm not some, kiranwala to do business with you. Simply I want to do I'm happy with your seva. I don't need anything. By chanting your holy name and rendering service to you, I have everything. I'm complete. I'm satisfied. So, that's the goal. By performing these activities of devotional service, chanting the holy name, taking Krishna Prasada, we're performing these activities so that we can come to the platform of having that kind of relationship with the Lord. We don't want anything. We want only to serve the Lord. We only want to render activities for the pleasure of the Lord. Ahaituki bhakti. Without any motivation of a desire for something in return, karma, or some gyan, some knowledge. Right? Like Lord Chaitanya said, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam bhajam shikamaye. You don't want wealth and riches, right? some birth in a good family, right? I should be in my next life Sharma or Trivedi. We're not interested in birth in a good family. But only our beautiful women, a beautiful wife, Sundari, Arjuna, I should have many followers. Many people should come and do whatever I say. Janam, right? Lord Chaitanya said, I don't want, all I want is birth after birth. So he's not even asking for liberation, not even interested in liberation. Birth means you're not liberated, you're taking birth. He's not even interested in that. All I want is life after life, your pure devotional service. Such a mentality is hard for us to understand, right? But on our own we can't get there, so therefore we need mercy. We need the mercy of the devotees of the Lord who are there already. By their mercy we can come to that platform. That is our hope. Ashabandha, hope against hope, that we can come to that platform. Is that okay? Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You said that Krishna consciousness is so organized that it will give a best result. So I want to find detailed explanation about that, how it is organized, Krishna consciousness.
How is it organized?
Just like in the other way you explained that material education making the educated hawks and dogs, how nicely. Similarly, it's how it works, like Krishna consciousness.
How does it work? It works like this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You chant Hare Krishna and you dance, and when you get hungry, you take a little prasadam, and if you get tired, you take some rest, and then you get up and you chant and you dance again. Very simple. But it's effective. Thank you very much. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.